You're not going to believe who owns BlackRock. You're going to definitely want to hear this. But first, I got a lot of crazy news here. First, Telegram CEO Pavel Durov has been released, but Durov is now in court where a judge will decide if he is indicted. So that is actually pretty good news. We'll see what happens in the future. And also the thing that I covered yesterday with the UAE not ordering $10 billion of fighter jets from France, that has still not been confirmed. All right, moving on. We have NVIDIA. NVIDIA reports $30 billion in revenue in Q2, 3.8 higher than expectations. So this is one of the reasons why I've been so bullish on AI. And that is why much of our portfolio, especially the altcoins, I should say, are based AI projects. So if you do want to check that out, learningcrypto.com. And I really think that the AI sector is going to demolish pretty much every other sector. Maybe not so much DeFi, but the rest. Okay, also we have 44,808 Bitcoin worth over $2.6 billion has been withdrawn from Binance over the past 24 hours. This is because of what happened with Palestine. And that is, Binance came out and said, hey, that we're holding these coins because these are potentially key people in terms of like bad people or whatever. So who knows? I have no idea. I can't prove anything on this, but I'm just letting you know how much has left Binance. Really interesting. Also, bad news for the United States again with Gary Gensler. You're going to want to hear this. SEC issues a Wells notice for NFT platform OpenSea. These guys, it's just going to get worse and worse. You know why? Because Gary Gensler is part of the SEC, but guess who owns the SEC? The Federal Reserve, which is unelected, private, and you have no say in who's getting elected in the SEC, okay? It's a bought and paid for organization. Moving on, we also have the SEC approves new ruling requiring mutual funds and ETFs to report portfolio holdings on a monthly basis rather than 4 times a year. So, you know, more red tape, more freaking reporting. Dude, that place, yeah, have it. And speaking about, you can have that place, Kamala Harris, economic advisor, is on CNBC, and he confirms that the plan to tax unrealized gains. And okay, so a lot of people are like, oh, it's for the people that make $100 million a year. That's who it's going to be for. It's not for us. What do you think happened in 1913, guys? Do some research. Actually do some research. What happened in 1913? They taxed the top 1% of earners, and it was only supposed to be temporary. And that was the same year that the Federal Reserve was created, right? Coincidence? Nope. And guess what? It rose and rose and rose, and now everybody's paying income tax, 50% income taxes in parts of the country. That is what is going to happen. I think they're just getting you warmed up in the oven, ready to get you a unrealized capital gains tax. And you're gonna have to, they're gonna shove that down your throat. I promise you that. I know how governments work. Moving on, we also have the United States government mistakenly transferred $239 million to the Taliban. This is according to BRICS News. Oh my gosh. So anybody that paid taxes is guilty of aiding and abetting. Yep, that's true. So you guys going to turn yourselves in? I'm just curious. Okay, moving on to more serious news here. We have Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway is now the 8th most valuable listed company after breaking $1 trillion in market cap, right behind Meta Platforms, Saudi Aramco, Amazon, Alphabet, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and number 1 would be Apple. Okay, so here's the interesting thing. Guess who owns BlackRock? Well, so there's a really good Twitter account called Not a Number. And what I learned, I actually did my research on this too. I didn't just take his word for this, but he did some research on who actually owns BlackRock. So Merrill Lynch owns about 46% of BlackRock. So they are a massive shareholder of BlackRock. But guess who owns Merrill Lynch? Bank of America. and they own it fully, right? So Bank of America owns BlackRock essentially, or pretty much half of BlackRock. Well, guess who owns Bank of America? Warren Buffett. So if you think like Larry Fink is the head guy, well, Warren Buffett's more of a head guy than Larry Fink. Just letting you know. Obviously, I know Warren Buffett is also bought and paid for, but that's on another story. Okay, so the interesting thing is he, is investing in Bitcoin, right? Because BlackRock and the ETF, and they have a huge exposure of Bitcoin. They probably own they're going to own more Bitcoin than anyone on earth. So here's some interesting things that he said, Warren Buffett has said. Whether it goes up or down in the next year or 5 or 10 years, I don't know. But one thing I'm pretty sure of, that it doesn't produce anything, Buffett said. It's got a magic to it, and people have attached magic to lots of things. Okay, what, like tulips? No, buddy, that doesn't have a magic to it. It is actually real, working against the very thing that you are part of, essentially. Okay, Warren Buffett also calls Bitcoin a gambling token. This is in April of 2023, but doesn't want to blame people for wanting to play the roulette wheel. Okay, so he's really discouraging people to go ahead and buy Bitcoin, which is interesting because I've been saying for a long time that BlackRock has been buying Bitcoin before it was announced. If you're a critical thinker, you know that that's what has been happening. BlackRock's been buying for quite a while now. And what's interesting is that, his best friend was Charlie Munger, who also hated Bitcoin. He's dead now. I'm not going to throw him under the bus, but in 2018, Buffett said Bitcoin is probably rat poison squared at a Berkshire Hathaway 2018 shareholder meeting. He added on CNBC, at the time, when you're buying non-productive assets, all you're counting on is the next person is going to pay you more because they're even more excited about another person coming along, which is very true for actually a lot of people in this space. Like most Bitcoiners nowadays, from what I see, they just want the price to go up, and they're going to forget about everything useful that Bitcoin has to offer. But you know what? If you've been following me at Sir Crypto Tips on Twitter or at learningcrypto.com, you will know that we actually very much strive to keep what Bitcoin was created out to the world. We share this with the world. And also, Heidi did write a book called Why Crypto. You can find that at shop.learningcrypto.com. All right, that's all I have. Like and subscribe. Talk to you soon.